are you right now, UPSAHL?
I am in Richmond, I think. And then we're headed
Beautiful.
to Philly tonight. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, what an adventure. I'm so excited to talk about the tour and all the new things going on in your life. Now, you're going to be in our neck of the woods in Boston at the Paradise Rock Club on the 30th. What can
Yes.
fans expect from your live performance, especially with this new music you have on this tour?
I mean, not to gas it up, but I feel like this tour and this show specifically is the most elevated version of my show I could think of right now for playing still like little club shows. But yeah, I just like put so much love and energy into constructing like the perfect set list that like took care of like my OG fans who like some of my old songs, took care of people who are new and like some of the newer stuff. It has some unreleased stuff, it has some covers. Like I just wanted it to feel like there was a little bit of something for everybody. But I think like the overall energy is it we just rage. Like it's just such a fun, high energy show. I can't wait.
I can feel that through just the posts on social media. It looks like a party.
Um,
You've been
it's been
on the
fun.
road since earlier this month, right? You started off in San Diego.
Hmm.
Do you have a favorite tour stop thus far? Any good stories?
Mm. Honestly, one of my favorite tour stops is when I'm in Boston, low key. It's this pizza spot called Cappy's. Have you heard of it?
Yes, yes.
Girl, at me at like 1 a.m., catch me at Cappy's after my show. Like, I'm obsessed with that place. It's so good.
I love that. So now we know where to find you next Monday.
No, literally, like,
So
let's all hang at Cappy's after the show. It'll be great.
I love that. Now, I saw you posted a video online about how you kind of prepare for your tour. Can you talk a bit about
Mhm.
that? Because I know a lot goes into it even before it starts.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I noticed early on when I started touring, I was like, because I love to jump, I love to run. It's just like high energy. I was like, girl, I'm so out of breath up here. Like, I can't even sing my songs. And so, prepping for the past few tours over the years, especially for a headline tour where I'm singing for like over an hour, I was like, I just need to like become a little cardio princess. And so, I just run every morning and sing my set like top to bottom. So it's like almost an hour and a half of just like, I mean, like not running. I'm just like jogging in place. It's not that deep,
Fair.
but like just like get my heart rate up and like train my voice to be able to like still sound decent while I'm doing all of that. It's been like so helpful for longevity, I guess, on the road. Yeah.
Totally. I hear that's how Beyonce does it too. And if it's good enough for Beyonce,
Good
I'm
enough
just
for me.
saying.
Period. And I saw like Miley Cyrus on the treadmill doing it.
Yep.
Chappell Roan does it. I'm like,
Mhm.
I just need to do whatever they're doing because clearly
Exactly.
it's working.
100%. Actually,
Yeah,
I'm glad you mentioned that too, because you also posted, I love it. It was a bit like clickbaity in the best of
of
ways, where
course.
you're like, what's wrong
Yes.
with Chappell Roan? What's wrong with Sabrina Carpenter? Why aren't we collabing? On
Period.
that note, obviously, those included, who are on your dream list of collaborators?
I mean, my like dream collab that I've been saying for years, and I will say it until it happens, is
Yeah.
Doja Cat. I've just been like obsessed with her for so long, and every she's just like I think one of the coolest artists like on the planet. That would be sick. Maybe one day.
We're manifesting. And I
Manifesting.
think that y'all's energy would match. So I
I
think
think it would be
that
so sick. Thank you.
100%,
One day.
100%. One day. Now, Upsal, you are from beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. I've never
Yes.
actually been to Arizona, so I'm curious, what is the music scene like in that neck of the woods?
Yeah, I mean, growing up there, I feel really lucky that that's was my introduction into music was the Phoenix music scene just because they were so welcoming to me and when I was like literally 13. But um it's a lot of like rock music. There's this cool rap group called the Belaganas that came out of Phoenix that went to the same school as me. Um yeah, just lots of like rock music, lots of really, really cool bands that I got to play for growing up. But yeah, I feel so lucky that for the Phoenix music scene because like the local radio stations gave me support when I was so young and so early in music and like booking agents and promoters would book me random shows like opening for other like really cool artists. So like I just feel really lucky that the Phoenix scene was so good to me when I was so young for sure.
Oh, that's incredible. Well, speaking of that, you being at it since you're 13, for people who don't know your backstory, can you talk a bit about how you got into this music life?
Yeah, I mean, my dad was in punk bands all throughout my childhood and like still plays in bands. So just around the house music and playing shows and band practice has always just been a part of my life. And yeah, I think I just started picking up guitar and piano when I was like 5. My dad taught me guitar and my grandma taught me piano, and I just was obsessed with music like for as long as I could remember. Like that was just the biggest part of me was music. And I started writing like horrendous songs, and then they got eventually a little better, and then I was like 12 or 13 and got in the studio and started recording stuff, and then I just became obsessed with like recording and releasing albums and playing shows. And so I did that until I moved to LA when I was 19, and then yeah, just been doing the thing since.
And look at you on your headlining tour. That's
We're
amazing.
trying.
That is
Hell yeah.
amazing.
Thank
Let's talk
you.
about the latest singles. They were So Perfect for Summer, Summer So Hot, and Tears on the Dance Floor. How would
Mm.
you describe this new era of music for yourself and what inspired this?
Yeah, I feel like I started working on this new era, this new album, like a few months, maybe 6 months ago or something. And I was really inspired by the early 2000s and just like the music that Gwen Stefani made with Pharrell and the music that like Nelly Furtado did with Timbaland and like Fergie and Britney. Like that
Hmm?
whole era of music is so unmatched. And so I wanted to pull a lot of inspiration from that. And yeah, both of these songs just sort of happened like really early on in the album process. And I loved how nostalgic Summer So Hot felt. It reminded me of like early Gwen. And then I loved how like batty but also vulnerable Tears on the Dance Floor felt. And like that's like those are like my favorite types of songs, are like the dancey party ones, but they also are kind of sad if you actually listen to the lyrics. So they just kind of felt right to like be the first two singles going into this album.
Amazing. You're completely right. Now that you say early Gwen Stefani is like my favorite ever human to
Sick.
exist. So
That's
it is so nostalgic. So you mentioned the album. When can we look forward to that?
definitely next year. It's so hard working on an album because I feel like I have like 40 songs that I would love to just put on this album. And so like getting it down to just 10 or 12 or whatever has been tricky, but I think it'll definitely be next year. I'm letting my fans be a really big part of like picking the songs for this album, which I haven't really done before. So I'm like every week giving them like 5 little snippets of songs that are like in the running for the album, and then I'm just doing it on like my app and on my Discord just for like my core fans. And then they get to sort of like give me advice on like whether they hate it or they love it, what they like about it, what they don't. So like we just started this, but it's just this weekly thing that I'm doing with my fans. So they're A&Ring my project now, which it's been a fun process.
That's brilliant. What a great way to do that. Because I mean, you're making it for you, but you're also making it for them. And that's really
Yeah.
cool to involve them in that. That's so special.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, they're the ones rocking out to the songs at shows. So I'm like, you guys get to choose.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
Oh
Now, in
yeah.
addition to your own music, you've also written songs for huge stars, Dua Lipa, Madison Beer, Demi Lovato. How does your songwriting process differ when you're writing music for yourself versus for other people?
Yeah, I think it's all obviously coming from like the same place, but I think the biggest difference when I get to get in the room with other artists is that I just don't really have to worry about like I get to get out of my own artist head, which is really, really nice. And I just get to focus on helping them tell their story. And like it's also, I guess, just for me, so inspiring as a fellow artist to get in the room with these incredibly badass women most of the time and just like watch their creative process as an artist and watch how vulnerable and open they're being in the session with everybody else. And like I just feel like I learn so much that I can then apply to my artist project. So yeah, I feel so lucky that I've gotten to work with so many incredible and inspiring, yeah, badass women.
We
They're the
love
best.
we love to see it. Do you have a song that you're proudest of that you've written for somebody else
Ooh.
and for
I
yourself
mean,
as
yeah. I mean, Good in Bed, I think
well?
for with Dua is my favorite just because that was like the the song that made me realize that I could write for other people, because I originally wrote that song like for myself, and then Dua heard it and did her thing, made it incredible and amazing, and put it out on her album. And that I had like no confidence in my songwriting at the time. And so to get that as like my first songwriting cut, I was like, okay, like we can do this.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm a songwriter. And
Yeah.
so I think that was like the confidence boost that I needed to be able to write for other people. So she definitely like opened that door up for me, for sure.
Love that. Now, your Melt Me Down tour is going to come to a close in November, so you still got lots of time left on
I
tour.
do.
But do you have any plans for after just finishing up the album? What are we doing?
I am celebrating my birthday. I know we were both talking about being Sages before
Yeah.
this. I literally get back from the end of my tour in Europe on my birthday, which is gonna be great.
Amazing.
Um, and then yeah, finishing the album. I'm hoping by then my fans will have picked a little handful of songs I can like actually get in the studio and finish for the album. And then hopefully more touring top of next year, but definitely album top of next year is the goal.
Yay, that's amazing, UPSAHL. Now, last but
Thanks.
certainly not least, here in Maine, where I live, our state motto is the way life should be. So I would love to know, according to you, what is the way life should be?
Oh, I love that. The way life should be is peaceful. I feel like I live a very chaotic life, and I think finding the peace in the chaos is what it's all about, I think, and like being with people you love, having a good ass time. But yeah, I think peaceful is the way life should be. Yeah.
I love that. I could tell that is your vibe. You're so dope, UPSAHL. And
You are
everybody, go
too.
get your tickets. Check this lovely lady out at Paradise Rock Club next Monday. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be a party.
Hell yeah.
Everyone's going to need to do cardio before the show.
I'm like, yeah, we all gotta do a little like cardio warm up to
Yes.
get ready for this.
Oh,
For
get
real.
ready for that. And thank you so much again for taking the time to chat with me. It was so great to meet you. And
Thank
hopefully
you.
our paths cross in real life one of these days,
I
too.
know. I would love to meet you soon. Thank you so
Oh,
much for taking the
thank
time.
you. Until we meet again, take care and enjoy the ride.
Thanks. You too. See you soon.